Good farmers, I'm now quoting from an American writer who is also an environmental activist, cultural critic, and farmer. His name is Wendell Berry. Good farmers who take seriously their duties as stewards of creation and of their land's inheritors contribute to the welfare of society. But they also conserve soil, they conserve water, they conserve wildlife, they conserve open space, they conserve scenery. In a future for the island that takes advantage of the natural uniqueness of its topography, its climate, and its biodiversity, that acknowledges the difficulties of its limited water resources, but also the potential that it may harbor, that focuses on making the most of what we have, and also on the ways we can better our natural environment today and safeguard its future for the generations to come. And that is our island, Cyprus. Cyprus has experienced, since its independence, a turn away from the land. In a country where over 50% of the population, well above the European average, obtains at least one university degree, people have tended over several decades to prefer a profession in the city to a life on the farm. Perhaps because they remember it as a life of hardship. Their father's generation, toiling away in a small family plot, or because a desk job seems an easier and more prestigious career option, or even because they believe that small land ownership, which is the norm in this country, cannot yield a good living. New ways of farming and value-added crops and products are increasingly proving that husbandry, when practiced properly, can be worth all the hard work it entails, and may hold the promise that farming can be a factor for growth in this country. But in order for this to be sustainable, it must be founded on green, eco-friendly principles. Cyprus's green dream must thus focus what we can do with what we have. It must be tailored to the idiosyncrasies of this unique land, to what can be achieved with a little water that is carefully, meticulously managed, unlike what happens today, to what can be done with the application of organic principles and respect the earth in all its beauty and its biodiversity. It must focus not on mass production, which I believe would be unwise even if it were possible in a Cyprus of small holdings, but on products with added value, crops that are favored by the climate, that can take on the challenge of the arid landscape, that can make a difference, such as high polyphenolic olive oil, which is proving increasingly, in the face of ongoing scientific testing, to have medicinal properties, and may reveal to have many more that are yet unexplored. A fact which could equally apply to other fruits of this land, from pomegranates and carobs to prickly pears and so many others. It will take research and study to unveil their potential as added value products, which at present we can only guess at. In fact, the road to this green future is one that binds science to tradition. At our own Atsas Farm, a few miles from here, we have applied this very principle with outstanding results by creating an agricultural system that works on the principles of agroecology, that, like nature itself, combines resilience with versatility, that teaches us practices which respect nature in order to yield a product that will benefit mankind. Private initiative, however, cannot go at this alone. There is an important and clearly defined role for the state to play in securing a green future for Cyprus. First and foremost, by a commitment to supporting best practices, by facilitating at research level scientific knowledge on eco-friendly farming that can revolutionize approaches to agriculture, by accepting new ideas and fostering their practical application in the field, by offering subsidies towards organic farming, by supporting agricultural practices that focus on the careful management of the natural resources that are in short supply, such as water. And it is not enough for the government to act, it must act now, because recent research shows that we stand today at the edge of a precipice. In February this year, the European Court of Auditors announced that more than half of Cyprus is at risk of desertification, with the current situation of the soil in 57% of our territory described as critical. Who is to blame? The ECA noted that desertification is a result of climate change and human activity, resulting from unsustainable land management practices. Government must act to ensure that we put a stop to the bad practices that exacerbate the problem of land degradation and soil erosion, and that through greening, we do everything possible to reverse this trend in affected areas. There are some signs that we are moving in the right direction. The recent decision, I think it took place last week, to support from the Ministry of Interior to support sustainable development in the Troodos mountain area by supporting local initiatives, both in agriculture and animal husbandry, by outlining a clear management strategy for this area of unique natural beauty and versatility, by reversing the current climate of neglect, is a case in point. Incidentally, our farm is in this area. Perhaps this is the time and the place where we designate Cyprus's first fully organic geographical farming area. Such a decision would secure the unspoiled natural environment of Troodos, which plays a key role in replenishing Cyprus's subterranean water resources. It would also help local farmers maintain high-quality standards for both agriculture and animal husbandry, with small organic farms coexisting naturally with each other and with the landscape. In this context, we can support emblematic local produce with a particular focus on products with a protected designation of origin. Perhaps also envisage ways in which to improve and promote them. In the case of Cyprus's internationally best-known brand, halloumi, for instance, not only to produce it from 100% organic, solely from goats and sheep's milk, but also to promote this traditional Cypriot product and increase its share of the halloumi market. As you know, today, the regulations accept that it's still halloumi when only 20% is from goats and sheep's milk. 80% comes from cow's milk, which I think is Well, it's a crime, really. In this context, we've said this, and it is important to recognize that such initiatives cannot stand alone. They must be supported by additional measures, such as inventive ways of helping small farmsteads secure much-needed additional income to make them not only viable, but profitable, by backing their choice of low-impact farming with revenue from agrotourism. We have today ample proof that by binding past and present, we can look to a brighter future, a green future. But to secure that green future, we must think ahead, plan sustainably, and work consistently. We must make up for lost time, acting fast to beat the ticking clock that human neglect has set off in nature. And most of all, we must work together. In this spirit, it is a great pleasure to introduce the next speaker, who has proven through her dedication to numerous worthwhile initiatives that she is a true advocate of biodiversity, conservation, and sustainable agriculture. Her Royal Highness, Princess Basma bint Ali of Jordan, has not only worked to conserve Jordan's native flora by establishing a center for scientific environmental education and a demonstration site for sustainable development, Jordan's Royal Botanic Gardens. She also chairs the country's National Biodiversity Committee and has worked to preserve Jordan's Red Sea coastline and coral reefs as chairperson and co-founder of Jordan's Royal Marine Conservation Society. For her enduring commitment to these principles, she has received numerous awards, including in 2011, the Henry Shaw Medal of the Missouri Botanical Garden for her pioneering work in awareness raising that has instilled in the Jordanian public a sense of the imperative need to protect nature and conserve native plants. In 2002, she was elected laureate of the United Nations Environmental Programme in the Global 500 Roll of Honor for Environmental Achievement. And in 1998, she became the first Arab woman to receive the title of Hero for the Planet from Time magazine. It is a particular privilege to have her with us today, to address this audience on a subject that is pertinent to this discussion, the environmental stewardship of the earth. Please welcome Her Royal Highness.